Hello everybody, today I'm going to repot this strange old beech. I've had this a long time. My daughter bought this for me in her first year at university, and she's now 30. She bought it for me as a Father's Day present. It was just a funny looking thing in a pot. It's an ordinary plant pot, and she thought I would like it. And she was right, I do, and I've gone on to love it. And so I've had it about 9 years, I think. As I say, she's 30 now, so maybe 10 years. I forget exactly how old she was when she went off to university. So it's going to need some trimming. The buds are finally swelling. It's the 25th of April today. Beech are almost always the last trees in my garden to leaf out. I've got a few ash that haven't yet. Okay, let's get the tray in and we'll have a look at what the roots are like. It's been in this large seed tray which cost me $4.99, and it's lasted really well, but it's starting to fall apart now for quite some time. So we'll see how full of roots it is. Oh, there you go, the tree takes up almost the entire potting tray, but there you go. Let's see how easy it comes out. Fairly easily, I think. Okay, so there we have it. Now all we need to do is try and work these roots down to fit into the new pot I want to put it in, which is this one that I had for Christmas. So I'm going to have to take off quite a bit of root, so let's get started. It in no way has a classical nibari, this tree, with this odd root that sort of snakes out from the side there, and another one that comes there, and some more here and there at the back. But as I say, it has an interesting shape, which is, to me, of high value. Okay, now then, let's get rid of the tray a second, or at least empty it, so I can see what I'm doing. That's better, a bit more space to work with. I can now just begin cutting back this root ball. And again, I've avoided this surface root because I'm going to try and tuck it down into the pot so it doesn't just pop out and sort of hang limply on the surface, which obviously wouldn't be ideal. Similarly, this piece, now I have a very flat root base, which is great. So I don't really need to do much with that at all. Okay, that's going to fit in there quite snugly. Turn around to the front. Okay, so I can now untuck these roots before they dry out, and they can be placed along the surface, tucked underneath like so. That'll help them stay in place until the root ball is settled. Okay, so I'm actually kind of liking that. I might want to come across this way a little more, just a touch. Okay, grand. Let's get some soil in the pot. Okay, so partially filled the pot. I'll put in some controlled release fertilizer in the top layer. Again, if this is the first time you see my video, that's to allow the stuff as it leaches out to go into the pot, rather than if you put it on the floor of the pot, it just goes straight out the hole in the bottom. If you've heard me say that before, I'm very sorry. I'm repeating myself. So I'm gonna tuck that, and that will tuck down quite nicely under the lip there. And that can tuck under there. And then I need to make sure I've got good contact. I think I need some. No, actually, I think that's not bad. That's not far off. Maybe a little more underneath. That's better. Because I've got a flat root plate underneath, that's given me a nice solid footing there. I think it might want to come around just a little more that way. Let's give you the front and a little better, just a touch. That's better. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, so now we can fill in around. Okay, I'd like that root to sit flat, so I'm going to take a piece of wire and again, because I've got a solid piece, a solid mat of root, I can use that piece of wire just to persuade those two roots just to lie flat. That's better. And a little bit more controlled release fertilizer. We've got a root here. I'm going to put another little piece of wire just to hold that root down. Into the surface a little better. There we go, perfect. Okay, I'm happy with that. Gonna have to work on the top, but let's give it a drink first. Okay, so there we have it. There's the tree in all its glory in its pot. Needs some pruning now, just to compensate for the roots that I've removed, but I've got a lot of silly little branches like this one, which is growing back across the trunk line, which are going to make it fairly easy for me to decide which ones to keep, which ones to remove. So we'll start. We'll get rid of that. Also, I've got a lot of branches that are growing upwards, and I want to encourage them to come out rather than up. So I shall be pruning back to a bud facing in the right direction. Some of these, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so here for example we have some branches sticking straight up. There's a dead piece there, piece growing straight up. That piece I'm going to leave, it can be wired at a later. No, in fact I'm going to cut it back to a bud inside there that's growing in the right direction. A piece going straight up, and that piece is crossing. I'm going to take out that piece, that's better. Okay, got some other bits here which we can get rid of. Another piece going backwards. Take off some of these ugly pieces. That almost needs a guy wire on it, and I might do that. Let me see. Unfortunately, there's nothing on the lip here to hold it to. I could possibly hook something under that root. As I say, some of this will need proper wiring in the autumn over the winter time perhaps. I have a piece here that's growing back in, and I have a funny feeling I had thought I might graft something in this area with it. I do have a kind of bare spot back here, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to take that off, but leave this piece, and then if I do decide I want to graft it in there in a future point, well then I've still got it. Take off that bit and shorten that. Now, if I understand what I've learned about beech over the years, is that branches, if you cut them beyond the first bud from the trunk, will die back. Although the tree was able to sort of bud from the bare wood, branches often die back rather than sprout along their length for some reason. So that's why I'm always cutting back to a bud here. Then if they do back bud along the branch, then you can cut the branch back further if you need to. We have a strange gnarled little arrangement here, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to lose that portion. Like so, and that makes the top of the tree a lot less congested now. Remove that, take out that, and in fact take out that. That's better. The top of the tree was very congested, and like I said, a big old bird's nest. And that now gives it a chance to recover and grow out in a much neater fashion, I hope. So here we go, everybody, a quick 360. Looks a little odd with this branch coming out here, but that'll be used, as I say, to graft something into sort of this plane, just as I did. This branch was actually grafted into place from somewhere else. You can see where the original was chopped off. So yeah. It's the 1st of June today, and this tree has responded really well from its repotting, and it's time to give it a trim. So I'm just going to cut back all this long extension growth that's coming from everywhere, and this would be just a rough prune to help keep it in shape, but also to stimulate some back budding, some ramification, and it'll have a more sophisticated chop come the winter time, when I can take off all the dried up foliage that beech like to hang on to and see the structure and do a proper structural prune. But I just want to pull it back into the sort of overall triangle, and as I say, get rid of all these long straight pieces that scream young tree, as opposed to sort of gnarled effect you get with a branch that's grown over many seasons. So I shall shut up and trim. Okay, well, I think that's enough for a first chop of the season. Just bringing it back into that triangle shape, you can now see the sort of lovely trunk movement, and yeah, all in all, I'm really quite happy with that. It's settled into this new pot well. You can tell by the colour of the cat litter that it needs a bit of a drink. But yeah, other than that, it's fit and healthy. Still need to fill in this back quarter somehow, but I realise I did have, or was saving, a branch that I was going to try and graft into here, and in my enthusiasm I've chopped it off, so I'll have to grow a new one. But that's okay, there's time for that. And there's a piece there, for example, I could use if I leave that. So I'll resist the urge to chop it. If you're wondering where the dog is, poor old Coop, he's exhausted. He's had a long hard walk with lots of swimming in the canal, chasing a ball, and now he just needs to sleep it off in the shade. It's a dog's life. Thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please do take care of yourselves. Stay safe, everybody.